To the drug, North Korea breaking bad. Well, President Obama trying to divert attention from a number of scandals, meeting today with the 1972 Miami Dolphins, joining us to, well, take a look at the president's mind and his refusal to take responsibility. We're joined by psychologist Dr. Jeff Gardere and psychotherapist Julie Hanks. Thank you both for being with us.
Pleasure.
Thank you.
Well, let's start with what is this president thinking? What is going on? He's got a contradiction over a major issue, that is aid to Egypt, with one of the leading Democratic senators. He's being called out on it. He's got scandals everywhere. The economy, he seems to be completely out of touch with it. What's happening?
Well, it's simply the lame duck syndrome. He's almost home free if he can get through this presidency without a major scandal. And as you know, many people have been reporting that there will be a scandal. Something will happen between himself and other members of the White House. He's saying, look, let me just go ahead and take care of the business here. Let me get through this term.
Just ignore reality. Just let me do what I want.
Look, we know as the president, as presidents before him, it really is trying to get through unscathed and protecting the legacy. That's what every lame duck president tries to do.
Julie, you can't argue with that. That's what every lame duck intends to do. Give us some insight, if you will, into what is motivating, well, is anything motivating him? The man is not exactly gaining a reputation for being the hardest working president in American history.
That is for sure. But Lou, let me tell you, it is human nature to avoid responsibility for difficult situations and pass the buck. And I think he's trying to just get out, avoid taking that responsibility. And that's human nature, but it's not very responsible.
Well, I mean, you've got to think that responsibility is the essence of Anthony Weiner and Elliot Spitzer, because they are seeking to serve the people again. Julie, give us a little insight into their minds and their hearts, because they obviously care about us deeply.
I think people go where they're comfortable, and in spite of the sex scandal,
well, they both apparently did it. Anthony Weiner apparently more comfortable alone than with.
But they're comfortable in the public eye, in the political scene, and so it's not surprising that they're going to go back where they're comfortable, where they can get the attention and the praise. And if they get reelected, doesn't that mean the scandal's behind them and they can just move forward?
Well, and I agree with that, because I think a lot of what's going on clinically with these individuals, especially Spitzer and Weiner, is that they're getting a chance for a do-over. Before, they really screwed it up. Now they have an opportunity to try to save their reputations, go back and do it the right way, protect the legacy. But as we saw with Weiner, he's still not able to do that because of his impulse control issues.
Impulse control issues. I haven't heard it put quite that way. That sounds right. And
that's
also,
psychoanalytic, right, Julie? Right.
Oh, he's also got apparently a problem with photography. Anyway, we go on.
Right. Absolutely.
But I have to say, I've seen something that I had not seen before. 3 New York newspapers coming out and saying this weekend, denouncing Elliot Spitzer for being a cheat and a liar.
Oh, yeah.
The New York Daily News for the prostitution scandal, for turning in a dismal performance as governor. He was, well, rat lousy. He was also unsuccessful as Attorney General, winning none of his prosecutions, and being interested only in feeding his insatiable ego. Julie, do you think that'll have any influence? And are you amazed that 3 newspapers, well, 2 of them at least, the New York Daily News and the New York Times, were boosting Spitzer every step of the way as AG, as governor? What's happening?
I've got to think that there's a part of us that it's kind of wants redemption, wants somebody to rise above kind of their mediocrity or their poor choices. I mean, I don't understand, why some of these folks are still in the public eye, but and I wonder, what does that say about us as Americans?
You don't have to wonder. I mean, when you look at what we're reading, what we're watching, who we've become as a people, I mean, we have retreated to the lowest common denominator in this country as a society. We don't have an aspirational set of leaders in this country.
Well, and I think what's going on, people are very disgusted by the fact that Spitzer, with his history, and yes, I have to look at it as a shrink, he does have some very severe emotional issues that he has actually begun to work on and try to become a better person. I've spoken to him, not in therapy, but have met him in hallways and talked to him about it. But the important thing here is people look at Spitzer and then they look at Scott Stringer, who's done all the right things, who's a moral guy, and they feel that it is an injustice that Spitzer's winning.
Jeff Gardere, thank you very much, Doctor.
Right.
Julie Hanks, thank you, Doctor. Thanks for being with us tonight. Good night from New York.